Welcome back, y'all. Ryan Hall here with the weather forecast. I am so excited. I am pumped up. Today, we're tracking a unique and massive snowstorm that's going to slide through Texas. It's going to impact some areas of the south and southeast as well. And then after that, we're going to lock it in with a cold pattern. We're going to have multiple shots of big winter storms. Comment down below if you're pumped too. Are we pumped together? All right, let's get into the weather. Here's a current view of the United States of America. And I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Ryan, where the heck's this snowstorm you're talking about? Well, buddy, if we zoom into Colorado here, just east of Denver, you can see some snow showers starting to pop up. And I know you may not believe me right now, but this is what's going to grow into that big snowstorm that's going to go through Texas. Yeah, right now it's just some light to moderate snow showers just east of Denver, Colorado Springs, on the flat side of Colorado. And that is going to dive southeast and rapidly intensify. And we're going to have some really interesting stuff going on in Oklahoma, New Mexico, Texas, and then all the way into Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. Let's take a look at them forecast models so we can look at it closer. All right, starting close up on Texas with the short range models. Let's get right into it. All right, we're putting this into motion. Let's see here. What time is it? 11 p.m., 9 or 11 p.m. tonight. Snow showers start to break out in the panhandle of Texas, New Mexico, and a little bit of Oklahoma. And then as we put that into motion, watch this. It just blows up over central Texas. We've got a ton of cold air already in place and then just a conveyor belt of moisture, warm air aloft, going over that cold air, and it's just going to fall in big giant snowflakes. Just a bunch of basically snowballs falling from the sky in this area right here. And buddy, it's going to pile up quick. All right, let's keep playing it out. It really blows up right around here. This is the Abilene area, just southwest of Dallas. And then as we play it on out, buddy, it just keeps going, dropping heavy snow bands in Louisiana, and it does eventually continue off into Mississippi, and we're left with a high pressure system over Texas. Now, this is the NAM 3KM. Let's see what the snowfall forecast is. All right, 12Z data for the snowfall because the 18Z is not all the way out yet. Let's put this into motion. Here comes the snow. Boom! It goes all the way out through Louisiana, and just look at that widespread amount of snow in Texas. Take a screenshot right now, save it. It'll probably be a while before we see something like this again. Big bullseye near Waco, Texas. This is showing some areas could see 9, 10 inches of snow, maybe more. We got to remember though that this is the 10-to-1 ratio, which means that this is how much snow is going to fall from the sky, not necessarily how much is going to pile up on the ground. But some of these areas are going to be pretty close. 6 inches is easy for a lot of places in central Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth area, man, you're right on the fringe. You're right there. You almost have it. All it takes is just a little bit of a northern trend, or maybe some of that moisture goes a little bit further north on the system for you to really get some hefty snowfall totals. Now let's take a look at the HRRR. This is an even higher resolution model. Now let's put that into motion, and wham, bam, better than the NAM. Wow. A huge widespread area of over 8 inches of snow all the way as far south as like Huntsville, Texas, all the way down there. Now, these short range models tend to be a little bit over generous with the snowfall totals, especially in systems like this, where right here, what you're really going to have is thunderstorms coming in off the Gulf, running over that cold air. And the model just sees it as, okay, it's a thunderstorm with heavy rain. That means we're going to get that amount of snow. With dynamic cooling taking place in this area right here, you're going to have a lot of this moisture evaporating in the air to create that cold air. So I really don't think we're going to see this much of a widespread area of 10, 12 inches, but we are going to see a widespread area of a lot of snow. Man, look at that. That is beautiful. People in Texas are freaking out right now. Well, all right, let's go back to the NAM and zoom out a little bit. Let's see what this storm's going to do after it moves out of Texas. All right, here we go. Lubbock, Texas getting some snow. Abilene, Texas just getting slammed. Dallas, Fort Worth, all the way into Shreveport, Louisiana. And then Mississippi gets some snow, and it looks like this carries all the way up into Tennessee. Yesterday's models were really disconnecting this thing and just busting it up right here, and then nothing happened. But it looks like confidence is growing that this is going to maintain just enough get up and go to possibly cause some significant snow. Nothing crazy. For areas in northern Mississippi, western Tennessee, and let's actually scoot over a little bit and see how far east this goes. All right, here we are in the southeast view, and we're at 7 a.m. January 11th. Look at this. We've got heavy snow in central Mississippi, heavy snow in western and central Tennessee, 7 p.m. January 11th, and this goes all the way up into Kentucky, and that's about where it fizzles out. All right, let's play that snowfall map out. Let's just look at it here just for fun. We all want to see that just not lose its oomph. and just continue right up here, right? That's what we want. We want that to just continue dumping all the snow on everybody. But unfortunately, the low pressure system starts to lift. And when that happens, you know, your snow chances, they go down. So there's a possibility somebody in Mississippi gets over 6 inches of snow. A lot of western and central Tennessee looks to be in that 2 to 4 inch range, maybe some 5s here and there. Bowling Green, Kentucky, Paducah, Kentucky, to see a couple inches of snow. And this kind of fades out over northeastern and eastern Kentucky. I know I've got a lot of people that watch these videos from there. This doesn't look like the storm that's going to bring us our snow that we've been looking for. All right, let's briefly take a look at some of the longer range forecast models and see what they're doing with this storm. A lot of times at this time frame, I like to just mainly look at the short range forecast model since we're so close to the storm, but we got to see what the Euro's got to say. Here we go, 12Z data. There's our snowstorm. It looks to be a little bit further south than what the short range models are showing right now. But yeah, heavy snow showers as far south as Austin, Texas, according to this run. And then here we go. It keeps it south. Central Louisiana still gets some good snow. Central Mississippi gets a little bit less, and then there it goes. It is gone. Looks like we get a little bit of a ridge moving in after that, a little bit of a warm up for everybody right before our big cool down. And we'll talk more about this here in a second. But buddy, once this cold air moves in, we're locked in. Let's look at the Canadian. There's our storm, and it kind of loses it the same way that the Euro does. Now the NAM is working with newer data. It shows that it's going to maintain enough strength for this area to get a little bit of snow, but our long range models just aren't seeing it. But you got to remember, the Canadian model is my favorite model. So we do have to consider the possibility that this moisture just gets flung out here, the wave goes away, that low pressure system lifts, and there's not much of a chance for snow in this area. All right, last but not least, we got to look at the GFS. There's our current storm. It goes bye-bye. Now the GFS goes out really far, so I'm really interested to see what it does with the cold air. There's our first shot. And then, wow, check this out. Ooh. Disclaimer, this is 222 hours out, so we got a lot of time for this to change, but boy, is that fun to look at. Check this out. Huge snowstorm for eastern, pretty much all of Kentucky, West Virginia, some areas of Tennessee, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and then it comes right up here and just slams the Northeast with a 998 millibar low pressure system and a ton of cold air behind it with a pretty good nor'easter there, and then it just locks in the cold air in this part of the country. And let's see if anything else interacts with it. Here we are all the way back at January 22nd, and there's another storm right here, son. Look at that. South Carolina, Georgia, historic ice storm? Probably not. But like I've been saying this whole time, guys, when this cold air gets locked in here, we're going to have so many opportunities for storms, and they're finally starting to show up on the GFS. Now, what exactly is going to happen with these storms? Is it going to look like this? I mean, who knows? But the thing is there's something there, and we got to keep watching it. Make sure you're subscribed. That was fun to look at. Let's look at the snowfall totals too. All right, let's put it into motion. Here's our first storm. GFS also seems to be a little bit further south than our short range models, and it fizzles out kind of before it makes it to Tennessee and Kentucky. But let's keep playing it out and let's see, just for fun, let's see what it does with those other storms. All right, here we go. January 17th, a big old bowling ball of a storm comes sliding through the United States, slices it in half with a big old blizzard, son. Oh man, look at that. Isn't that nice? And there's that second one. Oh boy. I really want to use this in the thumbnail, but I think it's almost too clickbaity. Let's zoom in just for fun here and take a look at some of this. Central Georgia gets over a foot of snow. Of course, the GFS says that. All of Tennessee's buried in 12 to 18 inches. Eastern and southern Kentucky gets a good amount, even up in northern Kentucky, Ohio, Indiana, Illinois. Everybody's in Snowtown on the GFS. And look at this, northern Oklahoma, 20 inches of snow, why not? Missouri, Arkansas, yeah, let's keep piling it on. Now, this is fun to look at, and it's important to understand that this is going to change, but the reason I'm showing it is because the models don't show stuff like this unless we are entering an active pattern. Now, is it going to be this active? Maybe. Is the exact placement correct? Absolutely not. This could all shift north, it could shift, I mean, it could shift a little bit south. This energy could be focused up here in the northern part of the United States, but I believe that cold air is going to really stay locked in, and if we can just get some stuff to work with it, we're going to be looking at maps like this hopefully for the next couple of weeks. All right, that was really fun looking at the long range La La Land GFS there. Let's go back to reality and finish this video by talking about our storm that we're actually dealing with right now. Major snowstorm possible in a bunch of Texas. I put together my own little snowfall map with my own predictions on how much I think everybody's going to get, but real quick disclaimer, I'm just doing this for fun, okay? If you have to make any decisions, actual real life life decisions based on the weather, make sure you get that information from your local National Weather Service. They are always the #1 source for weather. We're just having fun here, okay? All right, let's take a look at my snowfall map. My prediction: anywhere shaded in white can see at least 1 inch of snow, maybe 3 inches. And there is an extended area here north and south of this line that could possibly see at least a trace of snow. But to see 1 to 3 inches of snow on the ground, I think it's going to be right here. But now let's take a look at that 2 to 4 inch swath. Amarillo, Texas, Lubbock, Texas, Dallas, Tyler, Shreveport, El Dorado, we're all in the 2 to 4 inch range. And notice how tight it is right here. I really do think that southern edge of the storm, there's going to be a sharp cutoff line. Wherever that dynamic cooling takes place and there's a lot of snow falling next to a lot of rain, it's going to really hamper the totals. You're going to be somewhere right here with more than 4 inches of snow on the ground. Just go a couple miles to the south and it's going to be just wet. All right, let's look at that 3 to 6 inch range. Dallas, you're in there. A lot of central Texas is in there. I've got a little extra space up here for these guys. I almost want to expand this a little bit where the 1 to 3 inch comes a little bit further south, so that can allow for these areas to go south too, because I do believe, I don't think the whole system's going to shift south, but I believe there's a broader range here that can get some snow than I was originally thinking looking at the newer data. But I tried to be conservative here. The surface temperatures are going to be high. It's going to be like 35 degrees at the peak of this storm in a lot of these areas. So even though the snow is going to be coming down hard, there is going to be some melting that happens. All right, one last area. This is 4 to 8 inches of snow. I've got the big bullseye right here in central Texas, especially southwest of Dallas. I believe this right here is where the prime location is for that conveyor belt of warm air aloft is really going to put down a lot of snow over this area. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. And also, maybe if I was to make this map again, seeing the data that I just saw, I would include a little area over here of 4 to 8 inches, and maybe I would expand this a little bit more to the west. But that's my snowfall map right now. That's my predictions. Dallas, you're right in that area. You're on 3 to 6 inches with my map, but just the smallest shift south could put you in that 2 to 4 or 1 to 3 inch range, and just the smallest shift north could put you in the 4 to 8 inch range. So Dallas, you can get anywhere from 2 to 8 inches of snow. Typical weatherman, I know. All right, guys, that's all I got for you today. I hope you guys are excited about all the opportunities we have coming up for some major snowstorms. I hope you guys in Texas really enjoy that snow. I'm jealous. Once again, if you live in the area and the snow starts coming down, please send me pictures and videos on Twitter. I will share them here on these videos. All of my links are in the description, so if you want to send me a tweet, go ahead. All right, guys, thank you so much for all the support. The videos are doing great. The channel's doing great. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. I was looking at my analytics earlier, and still 80% of you guys are not subscribed. It's just a button. I mean, just click it. Make sure you slap a like on this video and leave a comment. Let's have a conversation down there, okay? Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Whoop!